All right, now to help us make sense of what is happening at this moment in American politics, we're being joined by Mr. Leslie Munson, who is joining us from Washington, D.C. Mr. Munson is a senior fellow at the National Security Institute. Mr. Munson, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. Let me in fact start off by asking you about these new polls that have come out, which are saying that Kamala Harris seems to have a slight advantage in those key battle states in the United States of America, which could, in many ways, dictate the way the presidential elections will go. What is your take on that?
Well, it's not totally unexpected. She's had good polling numbers for the last month or so. She had a very good convention. Her rollout of her candidacy after Joe Biden withdrew was very successful. I think the problem for Harris is that her lead is not very large. It's 1 or 2 points, sometimes 3 points, depending on the poll and kind of the way you do the averages and things like that. And in some of these key swing states like Michigan and Pennsylvania, she's either tied with Trump or perhaps even a little bit behind. So her position is not as strong as it appears. And let's remember, Donald Trump tends to poll lower than he actually does in elections. This has been the trend over the last 8 or 9 years. So this still, I think, despite Harris's numbers, is actually a very close race right now.
And also the choice of Tim Walz as the vice presidential running mate. Do you think that is actually helping Kamala Harris in these crucial swing states in America?
I don't think it is, actually. It's easy to overstate the importance of a vice presidential pick, and at the end of the day, it may not matter who she picks. But she had an opportunity to select the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, who is a very well-regarded politician, very able, speaks well, does quite well in Pennsylvania, including with moderate voters. I think his selection may have been a better one, particularly given the huge importance Pennsylvania is going to play in this election.
And also talking a bit about Donald Trump. He's, of course, not starting with a clean slate. He's got this case where he tried to subvert the 2020 elections. How do you think this is playing on the minds of the Americans? The Democrats are saying that, listen, this is a fight for democracy. This is about freedom and to ensure that American democracy still goes on to exist. Now, Donald Trump has said that he had every right to interfere in the election results of 2020. How do you think that perception goes and plays in the minds of an average American voter?
Well, I think if that voter is inclined to vote for Trump, they don't really care. And if they're inclined to vote against Trump, I think they are appalled by that kind of language. And it's not defensible. It's not a defensible thing to say. But the reason Trump is saying that is to show his supporters that he is willing to challenge the system and be a different kind of candidate. This is oddly the kind of thing that energizes his base, I think, and that's why he continues to say provocative things like this. He did try to undermine the election in 2020. He utterly failed to do so. It's we should point out, in the American system, held quite well up against his attempted interference. His implying that he's going to do it again in 2024 is his way of never having to apologize and show his voters that he's going to be a different kind of candidate.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Munson, for joining us and getting us that perspective then.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.